Today I'm taking with the MAIWO M.2 dual bay duplicator. So we got our indicator lights there on the top. We got our cooling fans going all the way over the top and a few on the bottom. On the back we have a vent. On the front we got our power button, we got our clone button, we got our type C for connecting to the computer, and DC just for giving it power. Then on the bottom we got an arrow letting us know that this is the button to pull it out. Now inside we can see this is for SATA. So this is not for NVMe, this is for SATA M.2 drives. Up here this is source, this is target. So you're going to put the drive with the data on it here, and the drive that you're going to be putting data on it here. And we can see this is capable of handling multiple different sizes. This is a SATA enclosure. At a glance it looks like it would fit a standard NVMe drive, but you'll notice that the notch on the side will not fit there. This has a notch on the other side. The mistake a lot of people will make is they will then flip it the other way around and try to stick that in, and they might even be able to make it work, but when they actually power it on, that will destroy the drive and possibly even the enclosure. This is a SATA 3 drive. You can see that it has two notches there at the end, and that will line up and snap in. We got a power supply. This is good for 100 to 240 volts, so it's good for international or domestic. It outputs 3 amps at 5 volts, and it is a USB-C. And we have two cables. This one's USB-C to USB-C, and this one is USB-C to USB-A. And the last thing is our plugs, and we have 4 of them. I'm going to fit the plug onto the drive and then snap that in. So I'm connecting to type C, and I'll plug that into the laptop, and I'm going to plug in the power supply and turn that on. So we do have both lights, so it does see both drives. Now, these are new drives, so I'm going to go to disk management and hit OK. I'll right click on the first one, new simple volume, next. All right, and we see it right there, and I'll do the same thing to my second drive. Okay, so now we can see both drives. First, I'm going to do a speed test. And we can see SSD is flashing so that we know that this drive is active. Okay, so for a SATA drive, these are pretty darn good speeds. So for sequential 1 MB 8 process 1 thread, we got 451 and 420. For sequential 1 MB 1 process 1 thread, we got 407 and 347. For the random 4K 32 process 1 thread, we got 55 and 50. And worst case scenario, for the random 4K 1 process 1 thread, we got 24 and 39. So that is about what I expect to see out of a SATA drive. Now, since we have 2 of these drives, we might as well test them both just to see if there is any difference. Okay, and on that drive, we're also getting about the same numbers. We got 451 and 421 on the right. So that is excellent. We've got consistency, which is important if you're going to be buying drives. So I'm going to copy a bunch of files. So this is about 15 gigabytes worth of photos and video, and we are looking at about 335 megabytes per second. Okay, and that stayed nice and consistent. Now I just want to make sure that I can actually access both of the drives at the same time. So I'm going to copy from one drive to the other drive. And that seems to be working, so that is excellent. We're looking at about 180 megabytes per second for that transfer. Okay, now let's check the offline clone. I'm going to disconnect from the computer and press and hold the clone button so all the lights are flashing, and then we press it again. Okay, so that did take a while, but we are done. You can see we got all solid lights. So this is going to be one of those things where you're going to want to set this guy down and then go do something else. Let's go ahead and shut that off and plug it back in. Okay, so we have now got 2 drives that are exactly the same. Files are playing, and we are cloned. If you're looking for something that's capable of reading SATA M.2 drives, especially a dual bay enclosure, I would be hard pressed to find something that's better than that. That is an awesome tool.